What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voyage RC. This is going to be another video in the build of the XFactory RC X6 cubed. This time we're going to be dealing with bag B, which is the nose piece. So that kind of gets the front end situated on the car for you. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chassis here. We're going to flip it over from the bottom. You should have a 5/8 flathead screw that you saved from the disassembly of the B4. You want to place that in this hole here on the bottom side of the chassis. Might be a little snug due to the carbon fiber, so just... And then in bag B, in the kit, there's going to be a 7/8 flathead screw that's going to go into the hole directly in front of it, which is the outermost of the two holes. And again, just go ahead and thread that through if it's a little snug and doesn't push through on the first go. So what that's going to look like is you're going to have the short one in the back and the taller screw in the front, which brings us to putting in the nose bridge spacer and the nose bridge itself. So you want to take the nose bridge spacer, which is just the little guy, and you want to have it angled so it's going the same way as the chassis. And again, a little snug with the screws from the machining, tight tolerances. Alright, you can see once that's down on there, the angles on the chassis and the spacer line up. With that on, we're going to move on to the nose bridge, which is going to be the bigger one of these pieces. You want the curved side out and on the back two holes of it, and again just slide it down and thread the screws in if you need to. If it'll push in, just push it on. There we go. So you can see we've got the spacer between the nose bridge and the chassis, the curved side out, lining up flush with the side of the chassis. Once we get those on, we're going to use the 3/8 flathead screw from bag B, which is the short little flathead guys we got, and we're going to install the top deck support. This is an aluminum piece, so if you are using thread lock, just go ahead and throw a dab right down in there, and that'll mount on the screw that's already in there, along with that 3/8 flathead that we're going to put through. Go ahead and start it with that screw that's already there, and then just work this 3/8 in once you get it lined up. There we go. Once that side is done, you can go ahead and repeat the process on the next side. You're just going to want to do the exact same thing: spacer, nose bridge, longer screw up front, and then we can go ahead and mount that support. So I'll go ahead and get that done. Alright, got the beginning of the nose piece going on here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start layering the rest of the nose bridge stiffeners on there. You got two left. The first one to go down is going to be the middle sized one, and then the smaller sized one. Again, keeping the curve going the same way, you want these all to line up. So just put that middle-sized one on, and it should butt up against that aluminum brace. And then once that one's on, just go ahead and put the shorter one on, work it down with the screw, and they should all butt up nicely against that back brace and line up on the edges right there. To get both those on, go ahead and rinse and repeat for the other side. There we go. And with those on, we can grab our nose piece out of the bag. Now would be the time, if there's any burrs from the molding or anything, go ahead and work those off. You want it to be nice and smooth on the back side here, and as well as up top here, so later on when you're mounting everything up, it all goes on nice and easy. Now you can grab the 4 5/8 cap head screws from bag B. We're going to be using those now, as well as you can have the nuts handy and the 2 posts. And with these posts, when we get to those, we're going to be using thread lock as well, being as they are an aluminum part. We don't want them backing out on us. So you can take the nose piece and work all those cap screws into the back side of it. And then what you want to do is work them through the remaining holes on those bridge posts. Which you can work them through with your driver if you need. And there we go, we got all 4 of those screws in, which is holding the nose plate in for now. Next step is we're gonna, on these each side there's the 2 rear facing ones, we're gonna put those lock nuts on. I don't know if it's just my kit, but these middle screws here with the front lock nuts on them, they don't seem to protrude all the way through the lock nut, so it might be wise to dab a thread lock in there, since it's not making it into the nylon part of the lock nut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these posts here, we're going to use some thread lock on them, and then just thread them onto the front screws here. They should thread down into the curve on that top bridge plate. So dab a thread lock and then we're good to go. Alright, well, with both those in, now we can move on to installing the front end assembly that we took off the B4 roller. The whole chassis, arm shocks, shock tower, everything. And that should just mount right up to this. So first thing you want to do is kind of set it in place here. And you should have the screws and washers, the 3 of these with the flat washers that you saved from the disassembly. And those we're just gonna loosely put through these 3 top slots, just like you did on the B4. Same locations here. This will help kind of hold the front end assembly in place while we go through the bottom side and mount the bulkhead to the nose plate. And then from the bottom you should have, again, the screws you saved from build, and I'm using a RPM front bumper, so that utilizes all 4 holes that go in the bulkhead. Using the Team Associated bumper, I believe it's just the 1 set of holes, so you won't have, you'll do 2 screws here and then put the bumper on and do 2 screws. This one just utilizes all 4, goes straight through right to the bulkhead. So what you want to do is get these mounted through the nose plate. Those all tightened up on the bottom with your front bumper on. You can go ahead and tighten up these 3 up top. And when you get all those done, the front end is done. You got full front suspension on, you got your nose plate, your flex bridge and everything. So just make sure everything's tightened down. We use thread lock on all the aluminum pieces, make sure they don't back out. That's it for bag B. Thanks for watching. Hope this video helped. And again, with this bridge assembly, if you need to take the time, sand down to make clearance on these. They're very tight to get in there. You want to make sure they're down and flush with each other. That way they have the support they need and you're not having any unnecessary flex in those carbon fiber pieces. So just take your time, work them in there, sand them down if you have to. Make sure they fit nice and snug, but you have the clearance to get all the pieces on. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. This has been the bag B, which is the nose of the vehicle for the X-6 Cube from XFactory RC. More to come. Thanks for watching.